5 Middle Eastern fragrances that always get me compliments. It is part 2. Without any further ado, I want to start by House of Letafa. When it comes to the Middle Eastern fragrance houses, I believe Letafa is one of those must-haves. So I have here Eternal Oud at number 5. People don't buy this fragrance that much, maybe because of the name. They avoid it because of the name, Eternal Oud. But I assure you, it is nothing here that much oudi, smoky or daring. It is all about vanilla and amber. I would say to this one, Eternal Vanilla, Eternal Amber rather than Eternal Oud. Oud is way at the background and it is not a main player. Atmosphere of fragrance is like creamy, milky, has that milky vibe to it. It is a little bit synthetic, like ambroxany, and I can get powderiness because of amber and vanilla, and it is well balanced sweet. It is not too sweet, not too daring, I have to say to this one, with touch of oud at the background. It is cozy, and I believe it is not a safe blind buy worthy. You should like this type of fragrances to enjoy this one. It is very close to Grand Soir from House of Francis Kurkdjian with added more woodiness. I can say I enjoy this one better compared to the Grand Soir, as it is more in the masculine side, but still I can get that unisex vibe out of this one as well. Lasts on me 10 hours plus, solid 10 hours with 2 hours of great projection and sillage. Has a better sillage compared to the projection, and definitely one of those complimenting cheap Middle Eastern fragrances. Let's continue again by House of Letafa, one of those compliment monsters and one of the best purchases I've ever made, I have to say. Letafa Asad. So it is one of those pretty well-known fragrances. For those who haven't smelled this one, I would say it is like herbal, dark and synthetic woody with touch of pencil shaving vibe at the background. It is like between Dior Sauvage Elixir, like 70% with 30% of pure excess by Paco Rabanne. Not exact cologne of Dior Sauvage Elixir, but it is highly inspired and fair enough close. Considering price of Dior Sauvage Elixir for 60 ml, personally I wouldn't rebuy it again, and I would stick to these alternatives. Also there is another great alternative, Salvo Elixir by Maison Alhambra, but this one is a better compliment that I have to say, as it is longer lasting and louder in terms of projection. I can get like 10-12 hours plus longevity with this one. Let's say first 10 hours are solid and 2 hours of great projection and sillage, and definitely one of those dressed up, expensive smelling, complimenting cheapies. Again by Letafa. Again, it is not safe blind buy worthy, but I have backup bottle of this one. For me, it is backup bottle worthy even. One of those complimenting, expensive smelling cheapies. Oud for Glory. It is cologne of Oud for Greatness, alternative of that fragrance. I can say even in terms of presentation, it is very close to that fragrance. In terms of scent profile, I would say like 95% side by side, and in the air almost identical to my nose. It is like bitter because of oud. It is oriental, spicy. There is also prominent saffron note here and some sort of candy flossy, earthy sweetness at the base. It is like sweet and bitter at the same time. Imagine Tom Ford Oud would get that bitter oudiness, not that green vibe, and Baccarat Rouge or Parfums de Mali Cologne, that sweet earthiness. It is a very complex fragrance, but not unique, because you can get few pretty well-known DNAs here, but it is creative, I have to say. Lasts on me 10-12 hours plus, and projection and sillage is good for first 2-3 hours. I have backup bottles, and definitely for 20 bucks, max 30 bucks, it is no-brainer. Let's continue by a beast mode complimenting fragrance. For me, this is definitely way above average in terms of projection, sillage and compliments, but I can say why people say to this fragrance it is weak and not long lasting. I'm talking about Hamidi Addicted Intense. I'm not affiliated with any of these houses. I bought all of these fragrances by my own money. I assure you, all these opinions are my own honest opinion. So this one is a highly concentrated fragrance, like 40% oil concentration. When I apply it on my skin, it is like air. It is very dry and you don't feel even anything on your skin. It is very greasy and sticky, but needs that body temperature to start jump off of your skin, to start projecting, as it is highly concentrated. When you move around here, when your body temperature start rising, this fragrance start projecting. But when you are not moving, you are in the office situation, it projects like below average and you get very fast nose blind to this one. But whenever you move, this fragrance projects even offensive based on my experiences, and everybody will comment on this fragrance. It is very loud, smoky, long-lasting, slightly citrusy, one of the smokiest colognes of Aventus I've ever smelled, but definitely needs that body temperature. Next one is one of my most complimented Middle Eastern fragrances, easily without exaggeration at top 10, top 15 most complimented Middle Eastern fragrances in entire my journey. I'm talking about Al Haramain Amber Oud Tobacco Edition. If you like sweet, spicy fragrances, you're gonna love this one. It is all about honey, extremely sweet. I can get some sort of cinnamony vibe at the background of the fragrance. Clove is also prominent, and tobacco is at the base, and also we have vanilla. Not that much tobacco-y, it's all about like honey, cinnamon, and vanilla. Clove plus tobacco would be better. Al Haramain Amber Oud Vanilla Edition, Clove Edition, I don't know. It is very close to Tom Ford Tobacco Vanille, extremely close, like 95% alternative of that fragrance. In terms of performance, I would say identical or even little bit better. That's also a long-lasting fragrance, but in terms of price and performance, this one is definitely winner. In terms of compliments, I would say these are same, lasts on me 12 hours plus, solid. And in terms of projection and sillage, I can get 3 hours good projection and sillage, smells dressed up, and it is definitely highly complimentary. Take care, guys.